America's going to have to retrench in terms of government spending, let the private sector do what it does well.
Two priorities I know that you share with the administration: healthcare, which you just mentioned, and also a new energy policy. Both very expensive, again. Can we afford to do both, and can they get done this year?
Well, we can't afford not to fix our healthcare system. We pay more per capita than any other country in the world. We don't have very good outcomes, and it's principally because 22% of our citizens don't have access to primary care, don't see a general practitioner, don't see a OBGYN, a pediatrician, so people show up in emergency rooms. That's very expensive, that's very inefficient. It means people are getting sicker than they should get sick. We can do a better job of managing our costs, and businesses in this country are crying out so desperately to manage the cost of healthcare. It's such a big part of their business budget, and they really can't control it. It goes up 10, 15, 20% a year, even though revenues go down in many cases during this recession. So we really have an obligation to help business, to help households by fixing our healthcare system. I'm optimistic we'll get it done because business and hospitals and doctors all understand that it's in patients' interest and in America's interest to get this done this year.
And how about energy as well?
Well, we have to deal with it. We've for so many years been exporting money to these OPEC countries. They don't share our values. In many cases, they actually foster the terrorism that threatens us here and around the world. And yet we keep buying their oil. We've got to find a way to get away from their oil, to deal with our energy needs here at home, to make better cars, to make more efficient houses and buildings, to really generate energy here, particularly with renewables like wind and solar and geothermal. We can do all this, and I think Congress is pushing the American economy in a very good direction, and we'll get that done this year as well, I believe.
The President has been supportive of the idea of cap and trade. Do you support cap and trade to limit emissions in this country?
Well, we have to find a way to limit how much fossil fuels we burn. It's expensive, it's inefficient, it's harmful for our environment, but more importantly, it's harmful for our economy. So we have to find some way to internalize costs, meaning to have the cost of what we use sort of built into the cost of what we're paying for. We've got a way to do that, and I think if we do that, we can unleash all sorts of new technologies that will make our economy really grow in great ways.
As far as cap and trade, though, members from both parties have said that it would lead to people's energy costs being raised overall, that it would be kind of a backdoor tax hike, especially for lower income people. Is it something that you could get behind?
Well, I don't like the idea of taxing people. I think we're overburdened, particularly middle-class people and small businesses are overburdened. I've been happy to try to vote for tax cuts and have voted for tax cuts for small business and for middle-class people. But we also have to deal with the reality of our energy policy, which has just failed us. It's why we were paying so much for gasoline last year. We're up to $4 a gallon of gasoline. It's why we're sending money overseas to these countries that really hate us. We've got to find a way to get this under control, or long-term we're going to be a debtor nation. We just can't have that.
We talked earlier briefly about the stimulus bill. There's been some concern that the bill has not, the law at least, has not created jobs as quickly as some people had hoped. Does that concern you at this point?
Well, I think by and large you're going to see some very good consequences from the economic stimulus plan. You're just now seeing road projects, bridge projects that were long overdue, where we neglected to fix our roads, to improve our bridges, to keep them safe. So we'll start seeing those projects in the summer and going forward. You'll see energy reforms that are part of the stimulus plan. Those are very, very good things. You'll see from health IT, electronic medical records that will be very, very important in reducing medical errors, making sure patients are healthier, making sure patients are tracked from doctor to hospital to pharmacist in a way that is better for our patients, better for our overall cost structure. So I think we're going to see a lot of positive changes. This time next year, America's going to feel very, very, very good about itself.
Oh, are you seeing changes, though, now, especially in the 3rd District, in your district?
Well, no, at this point you're still seeing unemployment rising, and that's incredibly difficult for any family where you've got a willing worker unable to get a job, losing a job and unable to find a new job, even at a lower salary. This is very tough times. This is the deepest recession we've seen in many, many years. But we're going to start coming out of it, and you see investors more confident than they were a few months ago. You're seeing consumers more confident than they were a few months ago. You're seeing the housing prices finally bottom out. So I think you're going to see a very positive change. This time next year, America's going to feel very, very good about itself.
The unemployment rate in New Jersey, however, does remain over 8% at this point. What would you say to people out there who are struggling, who are looking for jobs right now and who can't find work?
Well, they have to keep looking, and I wish there were an easy answer. We know we're paying the price now of years of bad judgment, some by households, some by business, some by government, certainly a lot by Wall Street, and we're paying a price right now. There are not easy answers, but people get it. People understand we dug ourselves a hole. We're now getting out of it. It's going to take a while. Anybody who says it'll be better in a week or a month, they'd be lying to you. But we're going to be better over time, and bit by bit, people understand that, and they're much more bullish about our future than they were just a couple months ago.
Okay, we're running short on time. A couple of quick questions. I know this is in the realm of the Senate, but the president nominated Sonia Sotomayor to the Supreme Court. Is she a good choice?
She sure seems like it. She was a private practice attorney. She was a prosecutor. She was a very effective trial judge. She was a very effective appellate level judge. So she brings to the table all the sort of experiences and none of the sort of political biases that would seem to disqualify somebody. She really seems to be a total home run. I look forward to her confirmation. It's very, very likely she'll be confirmed soon. Okay,
there was also a new poll out this week that shows Governor Corzine trailing Chris Christie 46-39 in a potential head-to-head matchup, with Corzine's unfavorables at 55% right now. Is John Corzine in trouble?
Well, my job is to try to make New Jersey people and Americans feel better about themselves. My job is to try to reduce their property taxes and try to bring federal dollars back to my district and to our great state of New Jersey. My focus is entirely on trying to grow our economy so small business can thrive once again. That's what I'm about. So whether I'm working with John Corzine or Chris Christie, I'm working for the people of the 3rd District and the people of New Jersey.
Will you campaign on Corzine's behalf?
I'm going to campaign hard to grow our economy, to make people better off, to make people feel safe and free in our great country. That's what my happy about. I spend every day working on that.
We know you have a lot on your plate. We thank you for taking time to speak with us this morning, Congressman. Thanks so much. Our guest on Newsmakers has been New Jersey Congressman John Adler. Newsmakers returns next week at the same time, and you can watch it anytime at CBS3.com. I'm Chris May.